on April 17th, the AEW Dynamite broadcast from Indianapolis, Indiana. The Indy 500. That's how many people showed up. Hey, see if you can look up our friend Thurston Howell's statistics on how many people they had there.
No, this would be WrestleTix, not WrestleNomics. WrestleNomics deals with the economics. WrestleTix deals with the ticks.
Well, then in that case, then we need to check our crotches and spray regularly because those ticks get bad in the summertime.
Oh, that's WrestleCrabs.
Oh, I'm sorry. But also, can we find out, they said this was the Farmers Coliseum. Is this the old Fairgrounds Coliseum? If it is, that's not only the building that I've worked there before in the 80s, but that was the building that Bruiser ran in the 60s and then sometimes in the 70s when they went back and forth from there to the new Expo Center building. But if this was the Indianapolis Old Fairgrounds Coliseum, and from what it looked like, not only is that a tough place to do TV in if you've got a big production going on, but also they couldn't have had 2,500 people in this building because I know what it's supposed to look like. And I know how much of it we didn't see.
Well, a few things here, Jim. This is as of yesterday before the show, so this is not counting any walk-up or the final numbers. But WrestleTix reporting 2,495 tickets distributed.
Goddamn, was I close or what?
And the Indiana Farmers Coliseum, according to Wikipedia, originally the Indiana State Fairgrounds Coliseum and formerly the Pepsi Coliseum and the Fairgrounds Coliseum, is a 6,500-seat indoor multi-use arena. Originally opened in 1939 as part of FDR's Works Progress Administration, which was part of the New Deal.
That's what I'm just telling you, if they tried to fucking plug the TV truck into that building, they probably fried half of Indianapolis. That's an old building. That building is 85 years old. And it's been a great wrestling building, but gee, Manelli Shelley.
On October 31st, 1963, during a Holiday on Ice show, a liquefied petroleum gas leak at the concession stand
there you go!
Caused an explosion which killed 81 people and injured around 400 others.
Christ!
A memorial plaque was dedicated 40 years later in the building, but it has since been removed. Another plaque honoring the explosion.
Wait, hold on. It took them 40 years and then they took it down?
Another plaque honoring
about these 80 people in this explosion.
Another plaque honoring the explosion victims currently hangs inside the building's lobby. The Indiana Pacers played here until 1974.
Yes, they certainly did. And in Market Square, because that, again, Bruiser and Snyder, and not to get sidetracked, but it's more interesting than the AEW program, but Bruiser and Snyder, when they started running their promotion, Barnett had run the Fairgrounds Coliseum, the building we're talking about, through the late 50s, early 60s. That's where Bruiser and Bob Ellis drew, thousands and thousands of people and all these goddamn, major shows. And then when Bruiser and Snyder, when they branched off in 64 and Barnett went to Australia, they started primarily running the North Side Armory. Or that it may have been, there may have been two of them, the North Side Armory and also the Tyndall Armory, which I've actually been in. And then they got big enough where they ran the Fairgrounds Coliseum, and then the Expo Center that opened was one of those big, like a Comic-Con building where you just have a big open space and they'd put the movable bleachers in and everything. And it was air conditioned because that's why Sam Miniker would always say the air-conditioned Expo Center, because the Fairgrounds Coliseum wasn't air-conditioned, at least at that point. And then Market Square Arena opened up in the early 70s, and that's where they'd go for Bruiser and Sheik in a cage. But anyway.
The Beatles played here in September of 64. The Beach Boys were here, Dave Clark 5, the Rolling Stones with the Standells and the McCoys. So there's a wrestling tie-in, Rick Derringer. How about this show? 1970, Paul Revere and the Raiders with Art Linkletter. What's that?
I have no earthly idea why they would. And again, kids, Google Art Linkletter. Because we can't even go down that fucking. Should we just talk about this shit for the whole show?
I'm having fun, and we only talked about music and arenas so far.
Well, anyway, that's the building that AEW was in, and so at least they can't accuse them of running the NBA arenas in every town anymore.
No, now they're running the ABA arenas in the town.
And so basically,
Oh.
But
Pretty soon they're going to be outdoors at Chilhowie Park. This continues.
What I'm trying to say.
Due to a bomb threat, we have to stay at Daly's place. The bomb threat is every week it bombs.
The Fairgrounds Coliseum in Indianapolis, if you put 6,500 permanent seats, as you just said, if you put a full ringside setup on a floor that big, because it is also made for the fair and stock and rodeo shows and things, you get 8,000 people in there. And they got apparently 2,500 tickets were sent out or given out or purchased in some fashion.
And for the record, the last time they were there was September 6th for Dynamite, 3,006 people.
3,006. And they didn't even hardly get to Angelo Paffo's sit-up record.